Ironically, the love for the city was came later. The first was the love for history, because I was born in a family where, while people had various professions, they all had a common interest, and that was history. And there used to be lots of books on history at home, which I used to read, and that is how I developed my interest in the subject. But the interest in living history, in the sense that looking at monuments, looking at historic buildings associated with people, lives, all that came from Calcutta and Delhi, where I grew up. Because in both those cities, that movement or that awareness for history had come a lot earlier compared to what it came to Chennai. And therefore, after having lived in both those places, when I came here, I, I carried that interest over here. And that is how I really got involved. And here already there was a guru in Mr. S. Muttaya waiting for me practically. And I was so lucky that I was able to work with him for 20 years of his life together. And that really molded me and created this interest in history. I must also tell you that I was only 6 when my father first took me to Fort St. George over here. And I can still remember my father and I standing under the flagstaff. In those days, security was not there. And he told me about how the Chief Minister addresses the state from here on Independence Day. That one episode alone in my mind, I can still recollect. And so perhaps that really began the journey as far as my interest in this city is concerned. Well, the Chennai and I, we are like two friends who have grown old together. And every day we discover new facets of each other. And today, if you ask me, I would not go and live in any other city. Though I was very happy in all the cities that I lived in. I lived in several places. And I generally liked all the places that I had been to or I had lived in. But today, because Chennai has been home for several years, it has really grown on me, and I am comfortable here, and I am also very grateful for all that the city has done for me. And therefore, I would say that I am very happy here. And if you ask me about what is it that is particularly, a certain places with which you have a very close association, definitely I would say the Kapalishwara temple in Mylapore is a place that I hold very dear to me. Similarly, the Parthasarathi Swami temple in Triplicane. I also hold the Music Academy and Fort St. George as two other places that are very, very dear to me. If you ask me, Chennai's character as it is today was molded not so much in the 80s or the 90s. My guess is it began in the 1920s. When there was an awareness among Chennai's people, long before it came about in other parts of the country, about the need for multiple interests, multiple religious affiliations to coexist together. That is the first thing. And the second thing is the self-respect or the fight for equality. I can't say that that battle has been won or it has been completed. But I would say that Chennai was definitely a forerunner among all the cities of India. And that, I think, is what has really molded the character of the city. So I would say that that era between the 1920s to the 1950s, that I would say is really what we are still living on. And that is our lasting legacy. The one quality of Chennai that I would really admire is its ability to take its past along with it in the process of development. See, there are some cities where it's only development and the past is completely forgotten. There are some cities where it is only the past and there is no development. Chennai has, I think, acquired a very beautiful balance of both. And that, I would say, is its greatest quality. Georgetown is my favorite site. I would love to go there every day if you wanted me to go there. Because it is after so many years of studying Georgetown, I still feel that I have only scratched the surface of that place. Every square inch of that place breathes history, and there are so many stories to be told over there. So, in my opinion, nothing can beat town. You know, looking back, it's a very interesting question, and I wish I had a clear answer for it. But I would say that this Puliyanthopu area is really a hidden gem. And I have been trying to unravel its history for a long period of time. Unfortunately, you know, even as you unravel, much of its history is just vanishing in front of your eyes. But I would still imagine that that is an area that has not deserved, that has not obtained the recognition that it deserves. It has played a huge role in everything from politics to industry to sport. And ironically, it has not got the recognition that it deserves. Well, I would say that Mylapore is a comfort place. People may accuse me of being elitist, snobbish, all that, but then it is home, and I like being in this locality. So I would say that that is my comfort place to be in. It's very difficult to say that there is one part of the city that will stay with you no matter where you go. The city itself stays with you. I would look at, what typically makes Chennai is that it is a progressive conservatism, in the sense that the past, as I said earlier, is never forgotten. But at the same time, the interests of progress is also very vital. Secondly, there is a great sense of equality in Chennai, which I think still other cities are trying to achieve. When I say an equality, it is not an ultra, modern sense of forgetting the roots. I would say that here, it is the one city in this country where you would find that, people are working in artificial intelligence, and yet they will take a day off saying, "Enga oorla ammanukku utsavam nadakkuradhu, paal kool oothano," அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு they'll buzz off. So it's a very interesting combination of the past, the present, and the future, and also of an all-embracing sense of everybody has to live together. I have repeatedly come across this feeling in this city, which I have really not come across in many of the other places that I have been to. And I would say that in all 400 years of modern Chennai, we have never had a single communal disturbance, which itself is a huge record as far as our country is concerned. And I would say that perhaps is Chennai's greatest quality. எனக்கு பேர் மாற்றங்களை பற்றி பேர் மாற்றங்களோடு அவ்வளவாக ஒரு உடன்பாடு அப்படிங்கிறது கிடையாது. என்னுடைய ஒப்பீனியனில் ஒரு நகரம் வளர்ந்துட்டே வந்துட்டுருக்குன்னா அதுக்கு புதியதாக வர பகுதிகளில் போய் புதிய பெயரெல்லாம் வைத்து அந்த இடத்தையும் பழைய இடத்து மாதிரி அதே அந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு சம அளவுக்கு ஒரு மகத்துவம் கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது என்னுடைய ஒரு கொள்கை. ஆனால் அது நடக்கிறது இல்லை. 1972லேருந்து பேர் மாற்றங்கள் நடந்து கொண்டே தான் இருக்குது, அது நடந்து கொண்டே தான் இருக்கும். பட் இதில் இந்த பேர் மாற்றங்களில் வர ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு விஷயம் என்னென்னா, அது ஒரு தமிழைசேஷன். அது என்ன தமிழைசேஷன் அப்படின்னா, இங்கே இனிஷியல்ஸுக்கு ரொம்ப ஒரு மகத்துவம் உண்டு. நீங்கள் ஒருத்தர் பேர் அழகிய நம்பி அப்படின்றதுனா ஏஎன் சார் அப்படின்னு தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ நீங்கள் என்ன முழு நீளத்துக்கு புது பேர் வச்சாலும் அது ஒரு 2 நாளில் அது ஒரு இனிஷியலாக மாறி போயிடுறது. உதாரணத்துக்கு டிடிகே ரோடு. யார் அந்த டிடிகே? நீங்கள் அந்த ரோட்டில் இருக்கிறவங்களே போய் கேளுங்க, சார் இந்த டிடிகேங்கிறது யார், எதுக்காக அவருடைய பேர் இப்படி வச்சுருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா அவங்களுக்கே தெரியாது. அதே மாதிரி எம்கே அம்மன் தெருன்னு முண்டக கண்ணி அம்மன் கோவில் தெருக்கு இப்போ பேர். அந்த அம்மனுக்கு எம்கே அம்மன் பேர் வைக்கணுமா என்ன? ஏன் முண்டக கண்ணி அம்மன் கோவில் இருக்கிறச்சே அதுக்கு பேர் அதே மாதிரி வச்சுருக்கலாமே? கிடையாது, எம்கே அம்மன் ஸ்ட்ரீட் அப்படின்னெல்லாம் பேர் இருக்குது. எனக்கு இதுதான் கொஞ்சம் சில சமயம் ரொம்ப சிரிப்பும் வரும், ஆனால் சில சமயம் அதை நினச்சா கொஞ்சம் வருத்தமாகவும் இருக்கும். தட் இஸ் வாட் ஐ விஷ் வுட் சேஞ்ச். இதில் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் ஐ வுட் சே இந்த மெட்ராஸ் பாஷைங்கிறது இட் நீட்ஸ் டு பி ட்ரீட்டட் வித் ரெஸ்பெக்ட். இட் இஸ் நாட் to be looked down upon. இது வந்து இந்த ஒரு காமன் ஒரு ஆட்டிடியூட் தட் அது என்னது, அது ஒரு அவங்க ஏதோ இந்த மாதிரி படிக்காதவங்கள்லாம் பேசுகிற மொழி. அது எப்படின்னா அந்த மொழிங்கிறதே மொழி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, ஆனால் படிக்காதவங்கள்லாம் பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கிற மொழி அப்படிம்பாங்க. ஸோ இதில் வந்து என்னென்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டு அது ஒரு நகரத்தோட மொழி அப்படிங்கிறத வந்து நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். இட் ஹேஸ் டு பி அண்டர்ஸ்டுட் that it is a language of the city, it's the language of communication of the city, and secondly, it's growing all the time. Every day you find new words coming in. But I would always look back upon Savugraki with great fondness. The reason is that I know why it came about. The railway central station and the general hospital have been standing opposite each other for almost 200 years now. And late in the 19th century, you had the Jhatka, the horse carriages that became public transport. So every day in the morning, the horse carriages will stop in front of Central Station to get passengers to come and get into the vehicle. But if there were no passengers forthcoming, the only other passenger was available from the mortuary of the General Hospital, which was on the opposite side. The dead body would be brought and taken in the Jhatka home. படுத்துட்டே வர கஸ்டமருக்கு சாவுகிராக்கி அப்படின்னு பெயர், செத்து போன ஒரு கஸ்டமர். அதனால அந்த சாவுகிராக்கிங்கிற வார்த்தை இது வேறு எங்கேயுமே வந்திருக்க முடியாது. ஒரு சாவுங்கிறது தமிழ், கிராஹக் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து உருது, சான்ஸ்கிரிட் எல்லாத்துலேயுமே வந்து அந்த டேர்ம் இருக்குது. ஸோ இது ரெண்டும் ஒரு சேர்ந்து ஒரு அழகான ஒரு கலந்த ஒரு சாவுகிராக்கி. வாட் அ டேர்ம். ஐ கீப் திங்கிங் அபவுட் இட் ஆல் த டைம். சம்டைம்ஸ் ஐ லாஃப் அபவுட் இட் ஆல்சோ டு மை செல்ஃப். அதே மாதிரி Kasmalam, which is such a Sanskrit word, and it is uttered in some very, very high-flowing Sanskrit treatises. Daily it is being uttered on the road. இந்த புறம்போக்குங்கிற வார்த்தைக்கு ஒரு பியோர் அழகான தமிழ் வார்த்தை புறம்போக்கு. அதாவது ஒரு if it doesn't belong to anybody, it belongs to the commons. And we didn't think it was important enough if it was a Tamil word, so we had to create an English history for it. So we said there was a Lord Pembroke. That Lord Pembroke created some legislation for public lands. அதுலேருந்து புறம்போக்கு ஆச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம், which is absolute nonsense. புறம்போக்கு is a Tamil word which is now a Madras Bhasha. That's about it. It has nothing to do with any Lord Pembroke. Well, my earliest memories are about the Hindu. As a child, waiting, everybody would read the Hindu at home, and it was we would all await its arrival very eagerly early in the morning. When we went to Calcutta in the 70s, we still subscribed to the Hindu, and would you believe it, the Hindu came 24 hours late. So we would read Thursday's news on Friday. We would have already read it in the local newspaper, but still reading it in the Hindu was very, very important for us. So that is how my family grew with it. And I can never forget in 2003 being invited to write for the Hindu. I just couldn't believe my good luck that, this newspaper was calling me. And since then, I have had a very long and very fruitful association with the newspaper. I subscribe to it online. I still get the paper copy. And I read both. Because I still find that holding the paper makes a huge difference. I am of that generation. As you said, old legend and all that sort of thing. So I feel really ancient now. I would say that Chennai is a city where there is happiness and progress. I am proudly made of Chennai.